I'm Jason Epperson, this is RV Miles, and it's time for this week's RV and Camping News Roundup. Yesterday, we released a video covering the sudden increase in fuel prices over the last 10 days or so, and we mentioned that fuel had its biggest overnight jump ever Thursday into Friday. Well, the next day brought another new jump, another 9 cents nationwide for gasoline and 15 cents for diesel on average, higher in other places. But fuel prices haven't affected the RV industry much yet. In January, manufacturers shipped another record number, a 16% increase from last year's record January. But the RV industry released their projection for 2022 production a few days ago, and they are expecting a bit of a drop in production overall this year. Between 578,000 and 603,000 units are forecasted to be built. RVIA's research firm expects a likely year-end total of 591,100 units. That's still the second best year on record and a dip of less than 2%. The RVIA doesn't seem to expect that rising fuel prices and other economic challenges will affect the continued strong demand for RVs too much, but they do expect the market to normalize later this year, especially with the expected rise in interest rates. A good portion of those many RVs being built right now are headed to dealer lots for restocking, while there's a dip in seasonal demand from consumers. Of course, that report was released on Tuesday, before the price of a gallon of gas jumped about 30 more cents. I guarantee the water cooler talk at RV manufacturers on Monday will all be about fuel prices. Will rising fuel prices tank the RV boom? I don't think it's as obvious of an answer as it seems. This is a weird economy, with rising inflation that has RV prices soaring even beyond inflation, but people are still buying them. Will they rethink those purchases with fuel prices going up? I think some certainly will, but you also have to remember people use RVs an average of 13 days a year, and 90% of RVs sold are trailers. People already own the fuel-guzzling trucks. If you take a 2,000-mile road trip and work out the fuel costs at 8 miles a gallon for, say, a big diesel pusher Class A motorhome, you're going to be paying about $300 more than you were before the pandemic tanked fuel prices. That's a lot of money to most people, but is it enough to scare off a lot of buyers that are using these for an average of 13 days a year? I think the bigger concern is that if customers think that fuel prices will increase even higher. There's a lot of talk correlating the high fuel prices that began in 2008 with the RV industry's crash in 2008 and 2009. But I think that had a lot more to do with people's ability to buy RVs than it did with fuel prices. Their investments were tanking. It was harder to get a loan. That's not exactly the case right now, yet. RV sales correlate almost directly with the S&P 500, which has cooled off mildly this year, but is still very, very high compared to any time in the recent past. So like I said, this economy is a weird mixed bag, and anything could happen. But fuel prices are a big flashing warning sign to a lot of consumers that things aren't going so well economically. And I think that's the bigger psychological effect that might hurt the RV industry over the actual cost of fuel. We shall see what we shall see. Campground owners in Indiana will soon have a liability shield protecting them from lawsuits based on the inherent risks of camping. Things like low light and falling limbs and animal attacks. A similar bill was recently passed in Ohio, and one was just introduced in Michigan. New York State's proposed 2022-23 budget includes $200 million in capital funding for state parks, an 80% increase from the current level, including a new state park at the High Falls area of downtown Rochester. Another new state park is being created in the city of Kingston and is expected to open to the public later this year. Thanks to Hal for sending in that info. There's a lot more news ahead, but first, this episode is sponsored by our friends at Roadpass, makers of the Togo RV app. Download it for free on Apple or Android and use it for RV maintenance reminders and checklists and storing all the data about your RV. They have all kinds of RV ownership information, including a new course from Abby and myself on RV buying. If you like the app, you can get a Roadpass Pro membership, which unlocks all of the premium features of the Togo RV app. It's $49.99 a year and gives you turn-by-turn RV GPS routing, lots of great discounts on things like tires and lithium batteries, and more. A Roadpass membership also includes premium features at Campendium, Road Trippers, Our Village, along with the overnight RVparking.com database of truly verified boondocking spots. Download the free Togo RV app, and if you decide to upgrade to a Roadpass Pro membership, you can save $10 off with the promo code RVMiles10X. Well, it's pothole season again, and a new survey from AAA found that last year, 1 in 10 drivers sustained vehicle damage significant enough to warrant a repair after hitting a pothole, with an average price tag of almost $600 per repair. Damage caused by potholes cost drivers $26.5 billion in 2021 alone, according to AAA. To make matters worse, these same drivers often ended up with an average of 2 pothole-related repairs, signaling that America's roadways need immediate attention. And AAA is urging government officials and departments of transportation to improve those road conditions. Cracked and crumbling pavement is the perfect environment for potholes to form. Moisture collects in these crevices, and as temperatures fluctuate, it expands and contracts due to freezing and thawing cycles. This breaks up the pavement, and combined with the weight of passing cars, eventually results in a pothole. These concrete craters can wreak havoc on a vehicle's tires, alignment, suspension, and shocks. AAA recommends the following tips for keeping your vehicle from being damaged. Check your tires, which includes the tread depth, the tire pressure, and then also your suspension and alignment. Keep your eyes on the road. An alert and cautious driver is less likely to hit a pothole. And scan the road ahead for potholes, and if it's safe to do so, drive around any in your path. Standing water or puddles may disguise a deep pothole. Avoid driving through standing water when possible, but if you can't, drive through it slowly and treat them as if they're hiding potholes underneath. If you can't avoid hitting a pothole, reduce your speed as much as possible, but avoid braking abruptly. If you slam on the brakes as you go over a pothole, it compresses your suspension and adds extra force to the tire. If you do hit a pothole, pay attention to any new or unusual noises or vibrations. If you detect something is off with your vehicle, take it to a trusted repair facility for a full inspection as soon as possible. That's it for this week's news. Please let us know your thoughts and opinions by leaving a comment below, and please hit the subscribe button for more videos like these. And remember, likes are free and they help a lot. Here's that video on fuel prices if you missed it, and here's a great video that you haven't checked out yet. We'll see you next time.